there, future tax whiz.
Oh, hello.
So you're gearing up for a tax accountant interview.
Sounds stressful.
Yeah, and we're here to help you, knock it out of the park.
Absolutely.
We dug into some great interview tips from Indeed.com's UK site,
Oh, cool.
specifically their guide on tax accountant interview questions.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, it's not just about reciting, textbook answers.
No, definitely not.
It's about understanding
Yeah.
the real-world skills and mindset
Okay.
that make a tax accountant truly successful.
Exactly. And the first thing that struck me
Yeah.
was how much emphasis they put on
Yeah.
skills beyond just crunching numbers.
Right.
They talk about communication, problem solving, even navigating tricky client situations.
It's almost like they're looking for a financial therapist.
Well, there's some truth to that.
Okay.
I've seen a real shift in the accounting field over the years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's becoming less about being a solitary number cruncher
Right.
and more about being a trusted advisor. Someone who can break down complex concepts
Gotcha.
and build genuine relationships with their clients.
That makes total sense, but how do you actually do that? I mean, taxes aren't exactly known for being warm and fuzzy.
Right. It's about empathy
Okay.
and putting yourself in the client's shoes.
Okay.
Imagine trying to explain the nuances of capital gains tax
Oh,
to someone who's barely comfortable with online banking.
yeah.
You need to be able to meet them where they are,
Right.
break things down into simple terms, and address their concerns with patience and understanding.
You know, the source actually has this great anecdote
Oh, really?
about an accountant who caught a mistake on their own tax return early in their career.
Oh, no.
Talk about a nightmare scenario, right?
Yeah.
But they actually used it as a learning experience
Oh.
and turned it into a positive.
So what's so important in that scenario
Yeah.
is not just admitting the mistake,
Right.
but also having the integrity to correct it
Okay.
and the foresight to develop systems
Yeah.
that minimize the chances of it happening again.
So it's all about having those checks and balances in place from the get-go,
Yeah,
which is smart, but everyone makes mistakes, right?
of course.
Especially when you're just starting out.
Absolutely.
I guess it's more about showing
Yeah.
that you're willing to own up to them.
Yes.
And learn from the experience.
Exactly. And in a field like tax accounting,
Yeah.
where trust is absolutely paramount,
Right.
demonstrating that kind of accountability is huge.
Yeah.
Clients need to know
Okay.
that you're not only competent,
Right.
but also honest
Yeah.
and willing to take responsibility when things go wrong.
Now, the source also talks about dealing with the stress of tax season,
Oh, yeah.
which, let's be honest, is legendary.
I know, right?
I mean, we've all heard the stories of accountants
Yeah.
practically living at the office during those months,
Oh, yeah.
surviving on caffeine and sheer willpower.
Oh, it's tough.
What's your take on that?
Um,
Is it really that intense?
Oh, it definitely can be. Tax season is a pressure cooker.
Oh, wow.
No doubt about it.
Okay.
But the key to surviving
Okay.
and even thriving
Yeah.
is having solid systems in place.
Right.
Time management is essential,
Okay.
as is knowing how to prioritize tasks and delegate effectively.
Okay, those are all super practical tips.
Yeah.
But what about the mental and emotional toll?
Oh, yeah. That's important.
Have you ever had a moment where you felt completely overwhelmed during tax season?
Oh, yeah. Totally.
And if so, how did you pull yourself back from the brink?
Well, one year I was handling a particularly complex corporate audit,
Oh, wow.
and I remember staring at this mountain of paperwork,
Oh, my gosh.
feeling like I was drowning in numbers.
Oh, no.
My saving grace was this project management software
Okay.
I started using.
Yeah.
It helped me break down the audit into smaller, more manageable tasks
Right.
and visualize my progress,
Okay.
which made it feel much less daunting.
So it's about finding those tools and strategies that work for you. Whether it's a fancy app, a good old-fashioned to-do list,
Right?
or maybe even a stress ball to squeeze when things get really hairy.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of taking breaks,
Yeah.
even if it's just for 5 minutes to step away from your desk and clear your head.
Right.
Sometimes that mental reset is all you need to regain focus and tackle the task at hand.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the impact tax accountants can actually have.
Okay.
The source highlights this scenario,
Yeah.
where an accountant helps a client save a significant amount of money by setting up a pension scheme.
Oh, wow.
It's a great example of how tax accountants can be more than just number crunchers.
Right.
They can actually be financial superheroes.
Absolutely. They
Yeah.
have this incredible ability
Yeah,
to help individuals and businesses alike
right.
make smart financial decisions that not only minimize their tax liability,
Oh,
but also set them up for long-term success.
that's great.
It's about understanding the intricacies of the tax code and finding those strategic opportunities that often go unnoticed.
It's almost like being a financial detective,
Kind of.
uncovering hidden savings and helping people make the most of their hard-earned money.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty cool when you think about it that way.
It really is.
And the best part is that you're constantly learning and evolving in this field.
Oh, absolutely.
Tax laws are always changing,
Always.
new strategies are emerging,
Yeah,
and technology is playing an increasingly important role.
for sure.
Speaking of technology, I'm curious.
Yeah.
What are some of the tech tools that have really revolutionized the way you work as a tax accountant?
Oh, so many.
Is there anything that's completely changed the game for you?
Well, cloud-based accounting software has been a huge game changer,
Oh, wow.
allowing for real-time collaboration and access to financial data from anywhere.
Okay.
Then there are AI-powered tools
Right.
that can automate repetitive tasks like data entry and invoice processing,
Oh, wow.
freeing up time for more strategic work.
So it's not just about crunching numbers anymore.
No.
It's about leveraging these incredible technological advancements
Yeah.
to work smarter and provide even better service to your clients.
Exactly. And that's what makes this field so exciting.
Yeah.
It's constantly evolving.
Right.
And there's always something new to learn and explore.
All right, so we've talked about the importance of soft skills,
Right.
the stress of tax season,
Yeah.
and the impact tax accountants can have.
Uh-huh.
But let's get down to brass tacks.
Okay.
The Indeed article mentions a median salary of £44,072 for a UK tax accountant.
Okay.
Is that a realistic figure?
Um,
And what factors can influence earning potential in this field?
that's a solid starting point, but it's important to remember that salary can vary widely based on several factors.
Right.
Experience is a big one,
Okay.
as is location.
Gotcha.
Major cities like London tend to offer higher salaries,
Right.
while smaller towns might have lower ranges.
Yeah. So you're telling me that my dream of living in a charming cottage in the Cotswolds and raking in a London-level salary as a tax accountant might not be entirely realistic?
Well, maybe not right out of the gate,
Okay.
but never say never.
Okay.
Specialization can also play a role in earning potential.
Okay.
For example, if you develop expertise in a niche area, like international tax or estate planning,
Yeah.
you might command a higher salary.
So it's about finding that sweet spot where your passion skills and market demand align, right?
Yeah.
And of course, continuing to learn and grow throughout your career.
Exactly. The world of tax accounting is full of opportunities
Yeah.
for those who are willing to put in the work and stay ahead of the curve.
All right, so we've covered the basics.
Yeah.
But the Indeed Guide also dives into some specific interview questions that you're likely to encounter.
Oh, good.
Are you ready to tackle some of those?
Absolutely. Let's get into the nitty-gritty and see what kind of questions they're throwing at aspiring tax accountants these days.
Awesome.
All right, let's jump into some of those common interview questions
Okay.
and how you can approach them strategically.
Sounds good.
One question that's almost guaranteed to come up is,
Yeah.
can you describe a complex tax issue you handled in a previous role?
Ooh, that one sounds a bit intimidating.
Yeah, it can be.
It feels like they're trying to trip you up with jargon or super specific scenarios.
Right.
How do you even begin to answer something like that?
Well, they are looking for evidence of your expertise,
Okay.
but it's not about showcasing the most complicated or obscure case you've ever encountered.
Right.
It's about demonstrating your problem-solving process,
Okay.
your ability to think critically, and your communication skills.
So it's not just about having all the answers.
No.
It's about showing how you approach a challenging situation
Exactly.
and work towards a solution.
Exactly. Think back to a situation where you had to research, analyze, and interpret tax regulations to resolve a client's issue.
Okay.
The Indeed article gives a great example of an accountant who helped a client navigate the complexities of double taxation
Okay.
because they had businesses in both the UK and abroad.
That's a perfect example because international tax is such a hot topic these days.
Oh, for sure.
It's something that a lot of businesses are grappling with.
Yeah.
So being able to demonstrate expertise in that area would be a huge asset.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When you describe the issue, focus on the steps you took.
Okay.
Did you have to research specific tax treaties?
Okay.
Did you consult with colleagues or external experts?
Right.
Did you have to present your findings to the client in a clear and concise way?
Gotcha.
These are the things that interviewers want to hear about.
So it's not just about the outcome, it's about the journey
Yeah.
and the skills you demonstrated along the way.
Precisely. Remember, they're assessing
Yeah.
whether you can be a trusted advisor to their clients,
Okay.
someone who can break down complex issues into manageable steps and guide them towards the best possible outcome.
That makes perfect sense. Another question the Indeed guide mentions is how do you keep up to date with changes in tax laws?
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
I mean, tax laws are constantly changing, so how do you stay on top of all that information?
This is your chance to showcase your passion for the field and
Oh,
your commitment to continuous learning.
okay.
The article suggests things like subscribing to industry newsletters,
Right.
attending webinars, and reading HMRC publications.
Those are all great resources, but it also feels important to mention your own initiative, right?
Yeah, definitely.
What steps do you personally take to stay ahead of the curve?
Absolutely. Maybe you follow influential tax professionals on social media,
Okay.
participate in industry forums, or even have a personal reading list of tax-related books.
Right.
It's about showing that you're actively engaged with the field,
Yeah.
not just passively absorbing information.
It's about being a lifelong learner, which is essential in any profession,
Yeah,
but especially in a field as dynamic as tax accounting.
absolutely. Now let's talk about something that can be a bit of a sensitive topic.
Okay.
Stress management.
Uh-oh.
The Indeed Guide asks, how do you handle the stress of tax season?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's no secret that tax season can be incredibly demanding.
Yeah, the pressure is definitely on during those months.
Yeah.
No one wants to admit they crumble under pressure.
Right.
But how do you strike that balance
Yeah.
between being honest about the challenges while also showcasing your resilience and ability to handle stress?
It's about finding that sweet spot between acknowledging the reality of the situation
Okay.
while also highlighting your coping mechanisms and strategies for staying organized and focused.
Okay.
Instead of just saying, I thrive under pressure.
Yeah.
Provide specific examples.
Okay.
Maybe you have a system for prioritizing tasks,
Right.
or you make a point of taking short breaks throughout the day to clear your head.
The Indeed guide suggests focusing on organization and avoiding last-minute rushes,
Yeah, that's good advice.
which is solid advice, but it can also feel a bit impersonal.
Yeah.
How do you inject some personality into your response?
You can do that by sharing specific techniques that work for you.
Okay.
Maybe you swear by noise-canceling headphones to minimize distractions,
Right.
or you have a go-to playlist that helps you power through those long hours.
It's about humanizing yourself and showing that you're self-aware,
Yeah,
which is incredibly valuable in any high-stress environment.
absolutely.
It also makes you more relatable to the interviewer,
For sure.
which can help you build rapport.
Absolutely. Now let's shift gears to a more positive question.
Okay.
The Indeed Guide also asks, can you describe a time when you helped a client save on their tax bill?
Okay.
This is your chance to shine
Yeah.
and showcase your expertise as a financial superhero.
It's about demonstrating that you're not just following the rules.
Right.
You're strategically finding ways to benefit your clients within the bounds of the law.
Exactly.
The Indeed article mentions advising a client on setting up a pension scheme,
Okay.
which led to significant savings.
That's a great example because it highlights your ability to think outside the box
Yeah.
and find creative solutions that align with your client's financial goals.
Right.
When answering this question, choose a situation where you went above and beyond,
Okay.
demonstrating your knowledge, your initiative, and your commitment to your client's financial well-being.
It's about painting a picture of yourself
Yeah.
as a proactive and results-oriented tax accountant who's always looking out for their clients' best interests.
Now let's tackle a question that can be a bit tricky.
Okay.
Have you ever made a mistake in a tax return?
Ooh.
I mean, everyone makes mistakes, right?
Right.
But how do you address that in an interview setting without shooting yourself in the foot?
It feels like a trap.
It is a bit of a trap,
Yeah.
but it's also an opportunity to show your honesty, your professionalism, and your ability to learn from your mistakes.
Okay.
The key is to be transparent, but also highlight how you corrected the error.
Okay.
Inform the relevant parties and implemented safeguards to prevent it from happening again.
The Indeed article provides a great example
Yeah.
of an accountant who caught an error early in their career, immediately informed the client, filed an amended return, and took steps to improve their processes.
Right.
It shows responsibility and a commitment to doing things right.
It's a powerful message.
Yeah.
It tells the interviewer that you're not afraid to admit your mistakes
Right.
and that you're committed to maintaining the highest ethical standards.
It also shows that you're human,
Yeah.
which can actually make you more relatable and trustworthy.
Sure.
Nobody's perfect, and interviewers understand that.
Absolutely. All right. Let's move on to questions about your process and communication skills.
Okay.
The Indeed Guide asks about explaining complex tax issues.
Right.
To clients who have no background in finance or accounting,
Yeah.
it's about bridging that knowledge gap
Yeah.
and making sure your clients feel informed and empowered, not intimidated.
This goes back to what we were talking about earlier about being a trusted advisor. It's about translating complex jargon into plain language and using relatable examples.
Exactly. The Indeed article emphasizes keeping explanations simple and concise,
Okay.
using real-life scenarios and analogies that clients can easily grasp.
Right.
For example, instead of talking about capital gains tax in abstract terms,
Yeah.
you could relate it to selling a valuable asset, like a piece of art or a property.
I love that it's about meeting your clients where they are
Yeah,
and
yeah,
making them feel comfortable asking questions, even if they seem basic or silly.
absolutely. Speaking of potentially uncomfortable situations,
Oh.
how would you answer the question about handling disagreements with clients?
Okay.
Let's face it, not every client is going to agree with your recommendations,
Right.
even if they're in their best interests.
That's a tough one.
It is.
You want to be respectful of your clients' wishes,
Right.
but also ensure they're making informed decisions
Yeah.
that align with tax laws and regulations.
The Indeed Guide suggests presenting relevant tax laws and guidelines, explaining the potential implications of various decisions,
Right.
and ultimately respecting the client's choice, even if you disagree with it.
It's a delicate balance.
It
Because
is.
you're an advisor, not a dictator.
Right.
So you need to guide them with your expertise,
Yeah.
but also acknowledge their autonomy and right to make their own decisions.
And finally, let's talk about confidentiality.
Okay.
The Indeed Guide asks how you maintain it.
This one seems straightforward.
Yeah.
Follow the guidelines of the ICAEW and the Data Protection Act.
While that's absolutely essential,
Yeah.
you can also personalize your response
Okay.
by emphasizing your personal commitment to ethical conduct and client privacy,
Right.
mentioning specific steps you take to safeguard sensitive information,
Okay.
such as using encrypted communication channels or implementing strict data security protocols, can further demonstrate your commitment to confidentiality.
It shows that you understand the weight of the responsibility you hold as a tax accountant
Yeah.
and that you take that responsibility seriously.
These are just a few of the questions you might encounter in your interview.
Okay.
The key is to prepare thoughtfully, be authentic, and demonstrate your passion for the field.
So we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We've tackled some tough questions and highlighted strategies for showcasing your skills, your experience, and your personality.
Absolutely.
But the Indeed Guide also delves into some more advanced questions
All right.
that really test your strategic thinking and problem-solving abilities.
Okay.
Are you ready to dive into those?
Absolutely.
No.
Let's see what kind of challenges await us in the realm of advanced tax accounting interview questions.
All right, let's tackle some of those advanced questions
Okay.
from the Indeed Guide.
Yeah.
These seem to really get into the strategic side of tax accounting.
They do go beyond the basics.
Yeah.
It's where you can demonstrate a deeper understanding
Yeah.
of tax implications and your ability to develop creative solutions.
One that stood out to me was, what is your strategy
Oh, yeah.
for minimizing a company's tax liability?
That's a good one.
That sounds like you need to be part accountant,
Right.
part magician.
There's no magic involved.
Okay, good.
But it does require a thorough understanding of the tax code
Okay.
and the ability to think strategically.
So where do you even begin with something like that?
Well,
What are some key areas a tax accountant would focus on?
every company is unique,
Right.
but some common strategies include
Okay.
maximizing allowable deductions,
Okay.
taking advantage of available tax credits,
Yeah.
and exploring different business structures
Right.
to see which one offers the most favorable tax treatment.
It sounds like a lot of research and analysis
Yeah.
goes into crafting an effective strategy.
It does.
You'd need to be incredibly detail-oriented
Yeah.
and have a deep understanding
Right.
of both the company's financial situation
Uh-huh.
and the ever-changing tax landscape.
Absolutely. You need to
Yeah.
be able to analyze financial statements,
Right.
identify potential tax-saving opportunities,
Oh.
and develop a comprehensive plan that aligns with the company's overall business goals.
Another question that caught my eye was, how do you handle filing late tax returns?
Oh, boy.
I mean, nobody's perfect, and sometimes things fall through the cracks.
Happens to the best of us.
But what's the best course of action when you realize a deadline has been missed?
It's definitely not ideal, but it happens.
Yeah.
The key is to act quickly and transparently.
Okay.
First, you need to understand the reason for the delay
Okay.
and assess any potential penalties.
Right.
Then, it's crucial to contact HMRC immediately and explain the situation.
So honesty is the best policy, even when it's uncomfortable.
Always.
It's better to address the issue head on
Yeah.
than to try to sweep it under the rug.
Exactly. And it's important to have a system in place
Right.
to track deadlines and minimize the risk of late filings in the future.
Okay.
Project management software calendar reminders. Even a good old-fashioned wall calendar can be helpful tools.
Let's talk about a question that focuses on your personal accomplishments. Can you talk about your biggest accomplishment in a previous tax accountant role?
That's a fun one.
This is your chance to shine a spotlight on your skills and expertise.
It is. Think back to a situation
Uh-huh.
where you went above and beyond,
Yeah.
where you made a real difference
Okay.
for a client or your organization.
Right.
Maybe you successfully navigated a complex audit,
Yeah.
implemented a new tax-saving strategy,
Okay.
or streamlined a process that saved time and resources.
It's about showcasing your value
Yeah.
and your ability to think critically, solve problems,
Right.
and deliver results.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to quantify your accomplishments.
Yeah.
Did you save the company thousands of pounds?
Right.
Did you streamline a process that cut down on hours of work?
Exactly.
Numbers speak volumes.
Now let's get into some potentially trickier scenarios.
Okay.
The Indeed guide asks,
Yeah.
how would you respond if a client did not want to adhere to tax laws?
Oh, that's a tough one.
This is where your ethical compass comes into play.
Yeah.
It's a tough situation to be in,
Yeah.
especially if you've built a strong relationship with the client.
Right.
But ultimately, you have a professional obligation
Yeah.
to uphold the law and advise your client accordingly.
Exactly. It's your duty to explain the potential legal and financial consequences of noncompliance
Okay.
and to strongly encourage your client to reconsider their position.
Right.
If they insist on pursuing a course of action
Yeah.
that you believe is unethical or illegal,
Oh.
you may need to consider disengaging from the client relationship.
It's about protecting yourself and your professional reputation.
Yeah,
Sometimes you have to make tough decisions, even if it means losing a client.
that's right. The Indeed guide also touches on experience with corporate tax and conducting audits.
Okay.
These are both specialized areas that often require specific expertise.
If you had experience in these areas,
Right.
highlight your relevant skills and accomplishments.
Yeah.
If not, be honest about your limitations,
Right.
but express your willingness to learn and grow.
It's about showcasing your adaptability
Yeah.
and your commitment to professional development.
Yeah.
No one expects you to be an expert in every area of tax accounting,
Right.
but they do want to see that you're eager to expand your knowledge and take on new challenges.
And finally, let's talk about presenting tax strategies
Okay.
to an executive team.
Oh, yeah.
This sounds intimidating.
It can be.
I mean, these are high-level executives who are
Mhm.
probably used to getting straight to the point.
It can be nerve-wracking, but remember,
Yeah.
you're the expert in this situation.
Right.
Be confident in your knowledge
Uh-huh.
and tailor your presentation to your audience.
Okay.
Use clear language, avoid jargon,
Right?
and focus on the key takeaways and the potential impact on the company's bottom line.
Okay.
Visual aids such as charts and graphs can also be helpful
Yeah.
in conveying complex information in a clear and concise way.
It's about being a clear and persuasive communicator, not just a numbers person.
Exactly.
You need to be able to translate complex tax concepts into actionable insights
Uh-huh.
that resonate with a non-technical audience.
As you prepare for your tax accountant interview, remember that it's not just about answering questions correctly.
Right.
It's about showcasing your passion for the field,
Okay.
your commitment to ethical conduct,
Yeah.
and your ability to think strategically
Right.
and solve complex problems.
Yeah.
It's about demonstrating that you're not just a tax accountant.
Right.
You're a trusted advisor and a valuable asset to any organization.
So there you have it, folks.
We did it.
We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive into the world of tax accountant interview prep.
Yeah, a lot of ground.
We've explored the essential skills,
Yes.
tackled some tough questions,
Uh.
and even ventured into the realm of advanced strategies.
For sure.
We hope you feel more prepared and confident
Yeah.
as you embark on this exciting career path.
Good luck out there.
And remember, as you step into the world of finance, consider the impact you want to make.
That's important.
Tax accountants hold a unique position of power and responsibility.
Yeah.
How will you use your expertise to make a positive difference in the lives of your clients and the broader community?
That's a great point to ponder
Yeah.
as you embark on this journey.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.
It's been fun.